Hello my fellow riders and welcome back to Riding Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Zontes Mantis 125cc. As you can see, we're sitting on the Zontes Mantis 125cc. This is one of Zontes' cheaper range, and you would akin this to Lexham ZSB. Spec wise, they're pretty similar. So we're going to do this the same way as we normally do: spec, design, comfort, cost of riding and pros and cons. Spec. So the engine in this is used in several other bikes from China, i.e. the Lexham Moto Assault, the Lexham Moto Venom and other things like that. It produces 8 kilowatts of power, and that's about 10.8 horsepower. On a test ride, I managed to get 55 miles an hour out of this. It is brand new, and when it does loosen up a little bit, you will be looking at getting an average of 60 to 62 miles an hour. It's electronically fuel injected and it is Euro 5. You can tell this by the catalytic converter and because it is fuel injected. Now, I said this was fairly similar to the Lexham Moto ZSB. There are some things that this has that the ZSB doesn't, i.e. a rear disc. The ZSB has a drum. It does come with a kickstart, but again, that's something that potentially you can't use anyway. With all of these fuel injected bikes, if the battery is completely flat and there's not enough to turn the engine over, generally there isn't enough to prime the tank. If when you turn your ignition on, the tank primes, you can kickstart it and it will run. If not, you can stick it in second gear and push it down the road, let go of the clutch, and you should start, regardless of how much power is in there. But only do that if you're comfortable. You don't want to be doing that if you're not, because chances are that you're going to push it down the road, let go of the clutch and accelerate, and it's going to go zooming down the road and you're going to drop it, and crying and all of that sort of stuff will happen. It has an LED rear light, LED indicators, LED side light and an H434 front light. Comes with a digital display which will tell you what gear you're in, which tell you how fast you are and what the time is, but it does also come with an analog display for your rev counter. With all of these bikes, you should be getting approximately 100 and something miles per gallon out of it, so it is massively more efficient than a car. And at a price of £2,049 plus whatever the OTR is for the shop you're buying it from, usually it's approximately £150. So if you budget £2,200 for this bike, I'm sure you can find one at that price. But at that price point, usually it might be cheaper at the minute if you just put your car in a garage, buy one of these and run around on these. We'll go through the running costs at the end of the video just so that you can see exactly how much it will cost to run this bike. But I guarantee you, it will be cheaper than almost every car to run. Design. So Zontes have been doing the Mantis for quite a long time now. This is the 2022 edition. The earlier versions were Euro 3, Euro 4, and they would have been carbureted. There was nothing wrong with them then, there's nothing wrong with them now. Quite often with this lower capacity, you'll find that they'll do stuff to get them through the Euro specifications, but they won't actually make any cosmetic changes or anything like that. There's no point in changing something if it isn't broken, and it isn't broken. This one will have the combined braking system, which is CBS, which means you put your foot on the back brake, 25% of the pressure-ish goes to the front, but the front is dedicated to the front. This is a commuter slash cafe racer. It's a sort of in-between. Even cruiser, you could say it's got some elements of that in there. This bike is going to be good for somebody that is shorter, because I'm 5'9" and I can flat foot it easily, and there's still quite a lot of distance that I can stand up as well without it becoming an issue. So somebody of maybe 5'5", 5'4", even shorter than that can ride this bike. If you're much shorter than that, you may have to just 1 foot it, but this is one of the lowest bikes that you can get. I know that the Lexham ZSB is 720mm from the floor. I'm pretty sure this is going to be fairly similar. You might even find that if you look into it, the frame on this might be the same as the Lexham ZSB. Mirrors on this are huge. They're bigger than most things, and it means that you're going to get a good rear view look as well. So once they're properly adjusted, you should be able to get a larger area to be able to see behind you. Remember, you do have to still look behind you because you can't see stuff that is directly behind you. Mirrors won't show you that. Another good aspect on this one is it does have the capability of a back rack or a back box, and you can get panniers as well if you want to. They're not specifically built for this bike, but you can get them. Comfort. As I said previously, this bike is going to be very comfortable to ride for a long period of time. The suspension isn't too soft, but it is soft enough. There is quite a lot of cushioning, maybe an inch and a half of cushioning on the seat, and it is gel, not foam. You can feel it. It definitely feels like it's gel. I might be mistaken, but that's what it feels like. Riding position, you are very upright whilst riding, so it means you're not going to have problems with your shoulders, your arms or your back whilst riding for a long period of time. I find regardless of what bike I'm riding, maximum amount of time I can ride a bike before I start getting aches and pains is about an hour, but I might just be getting old. 37, is that the new old? I don't know. Tyre sizes are good so that it can take the potholes and speed bumps quite well. What you find on a motorbike, the bigger the wheels, the more stable it feels. On a moped, you'll find that the wheels are smaller and you find that you can feel quite a lot more of the road. That's actually a bad thing, it's not a good thing. You don't want to feel all those potholes that council haven't filled in. Cost of riding. Now this is something that is very important. Cost of riding. If you want to buy this bike, you are going to be paying £2,049 for the bike, £150 for the OTR. The OTR will cover your the registration of the bike. DVLA now charges £75 for that. Your first year's tax, which is £22 at the minute. If the government are going to do what we all think they're going to do, they're going to put the price up anyway, so there's going to be that. Last couple of years it's only gone up by £1, so it won't go up by that much, but every little counts. This also covers the PDI, the test ride, the first amount of fuel, L plates, and cheapbikesrus. It covers L plates, as other places may not, and your number plate. Insurance for this at the minute, it has gone up for all of them. What I would recommend is don't try and go to these comparison sites, because everybody that I've asked or that come to me asking about insurance have gone to the comparison sites and they are saying, right, you need to pay £1,700, £1,000, something like that for your insurance. You do not have to pay that much money. It should be approximately £500 to £700 at the minute, but this does depend on location, where you're locking the bike up and what is the use for the bike. Remember, if you live in London, it will be considerably more and you'll probably only be able to get third party only. That's in the centre of London. Lots of thefts and lots of accidents and all that sort of stuff in the centre of London because it's so compact. Remember, legally, all you have to wear to ride this bike is a motorcycle helmet. If you only ride a bike with a motorcycle helmet, you are an idiot. And yes, you did hear that right, you are an idiot. The amount of people at the minute riding around with shorts and t-shirt and just a helmet because it is hot is staggering. And here's a couple of pictures just so you can see what happens if you do ride and fall off without any protective clothing. It takes all your skin off. It doesn't give you a very nice time. Falling off your bike regardless isn't going to be nice, but you're going to fare a lot better if you're wearing the proper protective equipment. If you come to cheapbikesrus and pick up a bike from here without the correct clothing, I guarantee you I will call you an idiot. Pros and cons. Pros. This bike is cheap. It's one of the cheapest bikes around. It's one of the cheapest bikes around. The ZSB and this one are almost the same price. ZSB gets it a little bit. So I think the ZSB is £1,999 plus OTR. This one's £2,099. So it's £50 in it. This one does come with the disc brake. So choose whichever one best suits you. Remember, they both come with 2 years warranty. So if you do have any issues, you can get help with that. This one comes with the capability of having a back rack. It does have the LED lights all the way around, so your lights are covered under warranty. Apart from your headlight, you may have to change that at some point if it blows. It comes with a large tank, 100 miles to the gallon, so that is good also. Bad points. This is not the fastest 125cc you are going to get. You are only going to get 60 to 65 miles an hour max going down a hill. This is what they're designed for. This is the capability they have. They will not go any faster. You are paying for a bike that will do 60 miles an hour. Doesn't matter what you do. You can change the sprockets and stuff like that, but you've got to remember that the person who designed this bike went to a lot of trouble to figure out what the correct gear ratio is for this bike. And they do it on a dyno, and they'll test torque versus speed, and they'll get right in where it's supposed to be. Now, once the bike is running, you can change the sprockets, and you probably will get a little bit more speed, but remember, when you hit those hills, it will slow down considerably. Remember, English weather, you will have to go over this with some sort of compound to stop rust. This is regardless of manufacturer, make or model. Go around with it with something like ACF 50 just to protect it from the English weather. The English weather does not like metal, so it will eat anything that is not protected. So protect your bike and it will be fine. Make sure you do your services when they are supposed to be done, and that will also help in the maintenance of your bike. That's pretty much it. So thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate everybody who takes the time to view my videos, and I make these so that you guys can get all the correct information that you need to be able to consider which bike you need later on. So if you want to support the channel, I do have some stock on my website, which is www.ridingreviews.com. I do have a forum on my other website, which is www.ridingreviews.co.uk, and if you've got any questions, go on there and answer them, or comment below and I answer every single question that has ever been put on YouTube. It's a lot of work. If you want to buy some merch, there is merch at the bottom of this page, and as I say, all the profit from these go into supporting the channel. If you did like my video, comment below, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, tell me how I can make them better in the future, and if you've got any ideas for videos that you want me to make in the future, also comment below. Subscribe to the channel to stay updated to all of my latest content, but as always, ride safe.